works for intersections. Tell us about pretty much what pieces were you involved in?
I was responsible for choreographing Model Citizens and Equipoise. The really wonderful thing about getting to set repertory work or previously choreographed work was that I had the concept in mind already and I was pretty clear on where I wanted to go, but having the dancers presented more process, so it was like doing that process, reinvestigating where the piece started. Equipoise again was a reworked piece, probably an easier piece to set on the dancers, and so it was a fun process as well. It's always nice to have dancers that are eager to do the work.
It's a duet too, so
Equipoise was a duet, and is a duet. It's already performed by Joni Trevino and Christy Morrison, and they're going to be doing that in the theater this weekend. Suzanne Oliver and Rebecca Valls will be doing it for the National Dance Education Organization in California. Fall. So it's continuing.
Well,
whether I need it to or not, it is. I do need it too.
Yeah, it is.
It's great.
It is great. Yeah,
it feels good. It feels like a classic now.
Well, that's the thing about some very good works of choreography. Some choreographers maybe spend years upon years continuing to either refine it or.
And it does evolve according to the people that come into the piece, and particularly in Equipoise, it sort of began as a kinesthetic experience that sort of subconsciously was related to two people that I know, and so it evolved into that for the first two people who did it, and then from there on, it had to sort of depend on people's own kinesthetic experience and relate to their people that they knew. So it's always been a sort of an investigative process.
Okay. And you spoke of the other one?
Model Citizens. I first set that piece on Chrysalis Dance Company, and it's always a bit painful for me because it came out of some research that I was doing regarding torture in the world and sort of a global perspective on how that fits into societies all over the world, including our own. And so it requires me to sort of go into some feelings that are really harsh to resolve my own understanding of why someone would fall into that position of abusing power. So fortunately, I had a very mature dancer, experienced dancer, to join the group, and that was Suzanne.
Okay.
And she came through for me in a wonderful way and helped the piece really become more cohesive. And I think the dancers came through as well, even though they maybe weren't too concerned about torture before they started, became more involved in torture as they did with their
sort of had almost the opposite effect. Yeah. Well,
and two, how far do you go into trying to get people to understand your own process, but then also getting them to take it into their own process? But that's the fun part to me. I enjoy seeing people hash around in something and come up with their own resolution to a conflict through your process.
Okay.
So that's always been Model Citizens, the goal of that process of Model Citizens, because it really is a hard statement to make about the universal understanding of why that happens in the world. So I think if we can individually understand it in our own way, it sort of brings us to a better place.
Okay. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about yourself now.
Okay.
So we got a little time.
All right.
Okay. Of course, Suzanne brought you into choreographing for Sanjay Style.
Right.
So a little bit about your background.
Okay. I was actually born in Houston, raised in Pasadena until about the age of 16, and I headed to New York. Got lots of experience flitting around, taking lots of classes, performing, and I sort of missed school. I missed that learning process and knowing where things were happening. And so I returned to Texas. I went to the University of Texas, still dancing on the side, but getting a degree, bachelor's undergraduate degree in foreign language.
Okay.
And I taught school, still dancing on the side. Finally, I decided I wanted to return to be a full-time involved dancer person, so I managed to get a graduate degree and started teaching at the University of Houston. I taught there for 18 years in the dance program. And left that place and sort of wandered around, learned a lot about conditioning of the body and so forth, still dancing on the side. And I was getting to know Suzanne and seeing a lot of what was going on here, and being very impressed with the technical capabilities of the dancers that she was producing, the work of the concerts that was just highly, very high quality. And fortunately she was interested in bringing in more teachers, and so I sort of evolved here, and it's been a wonderful experience. It's been very exciting ever since I've been here. Things have just been happening like crazy. With every time we go out into the world, we seem to find more opportunities, and that's really special.
Yeah.
It's special to have a school that supports that and supports the students in those kinds of endeavors. So it's great. It's great being here.
We certainly enjoyed talking to you today.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed it too.
All right. So